Ready?
Yeah, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm preparing the link, so I'll send it to you in a jiffy.
Okay, right.
You have to mute yourself because once I'm done, you'll be live. So
I'll be.
Hi. So in our previous video, we had gone through how to download an emulator onto our PCs and then install an emulator of choice, which is BlueStacks, to be able to install to be able to install our app onto your PC. We went through the procedure to do it, and we successfully installed BlueStacks, and we successfully also logged into our Gmail on BlueStacks. We then successfully downloaded the Aspire Executive Consult app onto our PC. Now in this video, I'm going to take us through how to create a new account and how to access the resources that are available to us on the Aspire Executive Consult app. So as we did in the first video, you notice that we have the Aspire Executive Institute icon here. We can just double click this to open the app. Now, once the app opens and this is your first time using the app, you need to first create an account. For those of us who are already using the app on phone, we can easily just sign in. And remember, first you need to log out from your phone. You sign out from your phone's account. Don't delete the app on your phone, just sign out. If you go into your profile, you can see a sign out button there. You sign out from your phone. And then you can sign in here on your PC. Then you can use that account. But if this is your first time using this application, then you need to create an account. So first we'll go through this procedure. Let's create an account. I click on create account. It asks me for my email address. So then I click sign up. Remember, you have to create your own password. So it tells you, thank you, your registration is done. Please log in with your email and address, right? And password, sorry. So I click on OK. Now I log in. Then I put in the password I just created, login. So once I log in for the first time, I need to update my student profile. KYC of ICAG requires us to know every student that passes through our tuition center. So I click on OK. I update my profile in essence, and then my ICAG number. This is your student's number when you registered with ICAG. All right. So once I'm able to do that, it opens the homepage for me. So it even welcomes me. Hello, Michael. What do you want to do today? So at Aspire, we provide various options with our app. You can either do an ICAG program, your CITG programs, or we also provide executive training programs. We also have a bookstore and then a job portal. And all these are available to us. Okay. Now, take note of this homepage. You notice that you have a profile picture here. When you click on this, it gives you the details of your account. Okay. And here you can either reset your password, you can log out, or if you need to do an update of your profile, you can. Notice that on your home page, you have the home, you have updates, okay, and then you have saved. Now, this app actually is able to save videos. When you are online, you actually can save the videos. And then when you are in situations where you don't have internet, or you need to replay the videos that you have saved, you can come back to this saved button here, and it will give you a display of all videos you've saved. Then you can play these videos without internet. You also notice that in our previous apps, for you to reset your password, you need to actually call someone to do a reset for you. In here, you can actually reset your own password. And if you forget your password when you were logging in on the home page or on the login page, you can also trigger forget password, which will send a direct email to your email. Then you can access that to set your own password. So unlike in the previous app where when you forgot your password, you actually needed someone to reset for you. This is an improvement on that. So let's do ICAG. So in our ICAG program, we click. So you notice that because ICAG or all the tuitions are divided into sittings or diets, you need to register for a diet. So here it tells you, Aspire Professional Consult is registered partner in learning for the ICAG, providing world-class tuition to prepare students for their professional exam. You can register for a sitting. So first you click on register. There is an active sitting, which is the April to August 2022, because we are writing in August 2022. Select that. Which level are you registering with? Let's say I'm registering with level 1. And my preference, face-to-face or in a lecture room, e-learning, or we have a program called the Revision Masterclass. Let's take it that I want to do e-learning, so I select e-learning. Now, this here happens to be that in times of intervention, when you are a new student and you have not joined Aspire for its tuition, and you are just joining Aspire for intervention, then you have to put this on here, intervention only. You have to put that on before you next. But if you are registering as a student for tuition, you don't need to put this on. So you can click next. Now I have to select the subjects that are applicable to. In this case, level 1, Aspire is providing a scholarship for all level 1, but because of system procedures, transactions come in date 0. So we had to put 1 CD there just for the purpose of enabling the system automatically grant you access. The beauty of this new app is after you make payments within the system itself grants you access to every resource that you pay for. So I'll take an example. For example, I want to pay for management accounting system. I pay for business and corporate law. Then I click next. Now, over here, we have 2 options. There are people who have actually made payments maybe in advance to us already. In that case, you have to click proceed with cash, okay? But for new people who are on now registering and creating an account, we advise that you use pay with Momo or card. In this case, once you make this payment online, you don't need to call anyone for activation. The system automatically activates. So we'll proceed with Momo or card. Okay, mobile money. I select mobile money. I put in my phone number, and then I can authorize the transaction from there. Currently, I'm authorizing the transaction from my mobile phone. Okay, so immediately I finished approving the transaction from my phone. It tells me my registration is successful. And then it brings me to the ICAG page. I can go to tuition, and automatically you see that the subjects that I paid for are activated. I could go into it, lecture notes. I could go to my media, just like what we had in our order. Okay. Now, for those of us who have already made payments or have special arrangements who have been asked to select pay with cash. So, for example, let's add a subject. Okay, so let's say I have a special arrangement with strategic case study and I've made a payment to Ellie through our original Momo number. So I come here, pick strategic case study, and then because I have the arrangements with Ellie already, okay, and because I have the arrangement and I've made payment to our official Momo number and has been confirmed, I come here and I say proceed with cash because I've already made the arrangement and had a payment done. So it acts as successful. Now you notice that because it wasn't done online, this here becomes inactive. So in this case, you have to wait for it to be activated for you. Okay. So you may have placed a call to the secretary or to Ellie to have this activated for you. So after placing the call and then the subject is activated, this will not activate automatically from here. So what you do is you go back to your ICAG portal where you have check for updates. Just click on check for updates. You notice that the system reboots itself. Then you go back to tuition. And then you notice that the subject has been activated for you. If you do that and it doesn't activate, it means that you are still being verified, and with time that will be done. So you could always come back here, click for check for updates, and immediately that is done, you notice that the subject becomes active. So this is it with installing the app on your PC, creating an account if this is your first time using it, or logging in into your existing account where you have to log off from your phone if you're already using the phone. And if you have made special arrangement for special payment, how to add that subject to your subject list. In the next video, I'm going to take us through how to download videos onto your machine or onto your device, and then how to access them once you are there. Catch up with you in the next video.
Right. Good evening, everybody. And thank you for joining our session, specifically our opening night for our tuition program for the 2023 period for our professional program. We want to thank everybody for joining us in this short notice. And I'm really glad that you've taken your time off your holiday to join us as we carry out this important exercise. Gratefully, we want to thank everybody, specifically all our students in the previous year, that's 2022, And we are so grateful for your immense support and participation in our programs. We are so delighted. We have already been able to have over 600 students who have qualified into membership, who have been successfully added to our alumni platform. So quite recently, we had an alumni program specifically for them. We are so grateful to you also who have also chosen us as your preferred tuition provider. This particular meeting is for our prospective students, specifically those who intend to join us for the 2023 year program, specifically the March date, which some people keep asking, is it March or April? Whatever it is, we'll bring clarity to that very soon. And then also students who have already registered, some of our students who have registered and already been added to our platforms. I'm sure you have joined this meeting. It's very important for you to, more like matriculation into the 2023 academic year. Very important for us to set some ground rules and appreciate some key development with regards to our tuition. And I'm really glad you have joined this session. So straight to business. The reason why we have chosen to describe or assign this meeting for specifically the March date is because yet we are still waiting for communique from our regulator, specifically the Institute of Chartered Accountant Ghana. But being prudent and being wise or being proactive, it is all clear that our next year exam is likely to come off in March as opposed to our usual April date. I think proud to the release of the result, I had some interaction with our students in our end of year meeting to specifically make that clear to most of us. So yes, as far as possible or as it will be, our exams for the 2023 year will begin, or the first date will obviously come off in the month of March. So exams will be happening in March. The next session will obviously be in July, and the final session for the year will be in November. So these are the three key changes. In the past, we had April, August, and December. So there's a brief change to our usual period of exam, which will be communicated soon. I repeat that. The Institute will communicate that very, very, very soon for us to all align our procedures and our processes along with this change. But as I said, we need to make sure that we don't lose sight or don't get surprised so that our outcomes in the current year will be better. So as I'll communicate to you, it's our privilege to inform you that yes, the first exam for the current year is likely to take off in March, and we need to prepare our processes and procedures and our various platforms to get ready to ensure that we deliver optimum service to you as we prepare to write this exam. It's a new development, and we need to make sure we manage the change process effectively so that we don't actually feel the impact. So it's going to happen. We are about to roll out tuition, and we are so happy to inform you that our first lecture sessions will begin tomorrow, Tuesday. Specifically, we shall start with the weekday session. So tomorrow from 5:30, it's expected that our tuition program for the 2023 year will begin specifically from 5:30. As is always the case, our lecture will be live on Zoom as well as in person. For in person, it will be at the hockey stadium, specifically the VVIP auditorium, as well as the conference room of the Tudosia Oko Hockey Stadium at Accra Central near Thelma Station for our weekday program. Also bear in mind that yes, our weekend program will also take off almost immediately on Saturday, specifically from 7:30 at the Aspar Plaza, specifically at Kwabenya on the ACP Pokwasi Road. So take note of that. Yes, tuition begins tomorrow for weekday and then for weekend on Saturday. So please have that in mind and make sure you are preparing towards that. We also want to congratulate all our students who have done so well in the last diet. We take this opportunity to congratulate you. It's been a tough diet towards the end of the year, specifically for those in the final level, especially those writing corporate reporting as well as strategic case study. It's been a very, very interesting outcome from our diet, that's the December diet. And for those who were able to qualify, about 167 were those who were able to qualify. Very, very interesting departure from the trend in the year, because we had almost the two previous diet students who were qualified, as much as over almost about 400 or more who qualified in the April as well as the August diet. But the December had a very huge departure, and we had only about 160 something of those who qualified in that diet. But the great news is that, consistent with our performance, we were able to achieve 56% of this total outcome. And that is clearly, we're able to have over 96% of these students who qualified as members from the last diet coming from our tuition platform. And we have therefore almost immediately added all of them to our alumni platform. And we are so happy to have them join the noble profession. For those who are yet to qualify and are still nursing their wounds, it's time to get back to work. Don't take it so hard on yourself. It's just to inform you that, yes, you need to add up some few knowledge to be able to cross the 50. It is difficult, but I can tell you, if you are writing professional exam and you are still nursing some outcome more than a week, then I think you have some, you have the need to have some extra help. So I don't think we need to go beyond this. A week is enough to reorganize, put your mind together, and take up the task. Are we clear? Many are in the need to be like you, because obviously some may have only 2 papers, 3 papers to go. But whatever it is, I can tell you, this is the only profession we have. If you want to be called an accountant, this is the only way to go. It doesn't matter the drawbacks. The most important thing is to keep an eye on the goal, which is to qualify and be inducted into membership. So those who are yet to qualify, those who are still writing, please just put yourself together. It is time to work hard again. Knowledge maybe not be adequate. We just need to top up. Push yourself to the ladder, and I'm sure you'll climb up to the top. So that is it. So for our colleagues who qualified, congratulations. We also have some tremendous passes across various subjects in the last diet. So many of our students were able to pass some key papers across the diet, and we were so happy to have those outcomes. Some of them have communicated their outcomes to us, and we have also been able to also check and confirm some great passes on outcomes in the previous diet. We are so happy, and we shall keep doing what we know how best to do, which is that our tuition program has greatly impacted many due to the use of technology, which has enabled most of our students to be able to use our virtual platform, join lectures either in person or online, and have been able to have access to recorded videos for further revision and further practice of key issues which were discussed in class. And this has had tremendous impact on most of our students who had great outcomes in the previous exam. So we are so glad that our technological backbone, that is our mobile application, has helped a lot of us to be able to come out successfully from our exams, specifically the previous diet. We will still be able to improve upon that and make it quite better. From our feedback we had in the last diet, most of us were very much clear that there's a need to improve on our videos in terms of the period of upload. We have seen that, and we are actually working on it, and we aim to ensure that our turnaround time should now be reduced, and we will ensure that videos are uploaded before 24 hours after the end of the session. In the past, our benchmark was 48 hours, and we have dropped it down further to now 24 hours or less after the end of a session. So please, that is a great news for most of us. Videos will now be available exactly in 24 hours or less after the specific lecture for which we had joined the session. So great news for those of you who rely extensively on the videos. Then also for our tuition program, especially for our reseaters, we have therefore had a major discussion to see how best we can be able to roll out the program to suit our reseaters. Specifically, we normally have what we call the modular program. which is normally targeting reciters, those who may just want some quick revision to come back to write the session. So yes, some thorough discussion has been looked at, and we are happy to announce that for our reciters, specifically for both level 2 and 3, we have a package which we shall call the modular session. We used to have this package for level 3. Now we are about to roll it out for level 2. We have that for FR, financial reporting, public sector accounting, and management accounting. So these 3 papers for level 2, we are rolling out a reciters program, which we normally call the modular program for our students. And how does this program work? All these students who register on this modular program will be given access to the mobile app, and they'll have the following for free. Number 1, they will have access to the previous diet lecture videos, which is obviously the December diet as well as August as well as April. So the entire tuition videos of the previous diet will be given to our students who register for the modular program. In addition to that, also, the students will have access to the intervention videos, which are the revision videos that were used for intervention in the previous diet, also for free. You have those videos, as well as the modular videos, because for those who are doing the level 3 years, you'll be able to have the modular videos of the previous diet. But for level 2, since it's the first time we are doing the modular program, you may not have a video for the modular. So these particular resources will be made available to those who register for the modular program. So number 1, tuition of the previous diet videos will be given to you. The intervention videos of the previous diet will be given to you. If there's a need to also provide you the modular videos for the previous diet, it will surely be made available to you. In addition to that, you'll be given the learning resource or materials of the previous diet. And then also there shall be a compulsory mock that every student will be requested to go through. So these are the key packages of the reciters program. And this program is dedicated to our students who are resitting specifically for level 2 financial reporting, public sector, and management accounting. For level 3, we used to have a modular program for advanced audit, corporate reporting, and strategic case study. And this time around also, we are adding the level, what they call it, specifically advanced taxation to the program. So it means that when it comes to the reciters program, all the level 3 subjects will have the reciters program. And when it comes to the level 2 program, we are targeting specifically financial reporting, public sector accounting, and management accounting for the reciters program. Now, aside giving you these resources, there shall be weekly meetings. In the past, we used to have the modular session where we were having meetings every other week. Now, due to the nature of the diet is so short that we don't have time to waste. So what it means is that when it comes to the modular, there shall be weekly meetings which will be different from the normal tuition, because we need to separate normal tuition from those of you doing revision. So it means that your session will be different from the normal class. And we are targeting specifically Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. And these lectures will happen strictly in the evening, and it will be online, no in-person lectures. So please, for level 2, to make it easy for you to remember, for level 2, your modular for management accounting will be every Friday, 6:30, exactly, 6 o'clock to 9 p.m., 3 hours, every Friday evening, exactly. So those who are doing man accounting, you are going to have a modular session every Friday night throughout the whole week, throughout the whole month of February, also January, February, exactly, before exams in March. So every Friday, man accounting, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m., all our reciters will be rolled onto that program. And if you do that, it will really, really help you. Exactly. Our TAs will be available to help, and then our main lecturers will also be providing tuition every Friday night for man accounting. Now, for public sector accounting, your arrangement is Saturdays, every Saturday evening, exactly, 6 o'clock p.m. to 9 p.m. Exactly. We've done this intentionally so that no matter whatever activities you have, you could be able to join in the evening. So for public sector, every evening on Saturday, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m., you shall have your modular or revision or reciters program. For financial reporting, the same apply on Sundays. So for financial reporting, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. every Sunday, we shall have that particular session. So please take note of that for those of you resitting FR, public sector, and man accounting. That will be your program. As I said, in addition to these weekly discussions, exactly, focus on questions and answers, solving of questions. Every meeting will be dedicated to solving questions. So for every week you'll be meeting. In addition to that, you'll be getting the previous lecture videos that you had already participated in. Exactly. In addition to that, your intervention that you had in the previous diet, those videos will also be made available to you for you to go through and prepare yourself for a good outcome this March. The time is so short, so don't leave anything to chance. For level 3, the same arrangement will be almost the same as the level 2. So for corporate reporting, every Friday evening, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m., exactly, we shall have a modular class for corporate reporting. It is not going to be like in the past where we have it every other week. Every Friday evening, we shall have a revision class for reciters doing corporate reporting. Same for advanced auditing. Advanced auditing will be every Saturday evening, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Advanced auditing reciters every evening, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. And then also for strategic case study, reciters who are going to join the modular program every Sunday evening, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. We are meeting for a lot of rehearsals on models that are specific for the exam. So take note of that. There will be nothing left to chance. This program is dedicated to ensure that our reciters have a better outcome going into the March diet. For advanced taxation, that will also happen specifically. We'll be looking at either having to have that on Sunday evening or Friday evening, but we'll surely get you a confirmation of that before tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll release a flyer for the modular program so that those who might not be able to join the lecture or this particular opening night, you'll be able to have the details put up in a flyer for you to be able to go through and plan with it. So please, that is it for the modular program. I wanted to make sure that the modular program is more improved and better focused to give all our students a better outcome going into this March diet. The period is short and there's nothing to be left to chance. Our technical reference will be that we shall be using strictly 10 weeks of tuition. So you must make sure that you join the program early to ensure that your revision is adequate to get you to be prepared for the exam. So take note of that. So for those who are joining our normal tuition, one of our key changes that we shall be bringing to bear going into this particular March diet is that in the past, we used to have a repetition of weekday lectures over the weekend. Specifically, some students will want to register for weekday, some will want to register for weekend. We don't have a problem with your choice. But due to the exigency of time, the inadequacy of time, yes, there will be repetition lectures for January. Exactly. So the entire January, yes, whatever is done on the weekend will be done on the weekday, only for the month of January. Once we enter the month of February, we have about 4 meetings in February or 4 periods of meetings in February, but those meetings will be converted into 2. So therefore, making it 8 meetings. How will we achieve that? It means that whatever is taught on the weekday will not be repeated on the weekend. So it means that those who prefer to join weekday will be able to, yes, follow up the lecture for the weekday, but they must ensure that whatever was taught on the weekend, they go quickly to pick up the video before joining the next session. And I also advise our weekend students to also make sure that they watch the videos for the weekday before coming in for the weekend lectures. So we are doing this, and this will only affect lectures beginning from the month of February. So take note of that. It means that we are going to convert the period of 4 meetings in February to now 8 meetings as a result of the decision not to repeat lectures in the month of February. Once we do that, we shall have about 8 meetings in February to compensate the inadequacy we have in terms of timing. So by February ending, we must ensure that we finish the entire syllabus and ready for exams in March. So this is very important. And then we give you some days or weeks to be able to prepare for our final interventions in March, as the exams, as I've said, will be surely come off in the month of March. So this is our program specifically for the what we call the March diet. And I must announce that for those of you going for the receipt test program, we are offering you a discount of 20% off the tuition fee for the specific diet. So as you already seen in our flyers, level 2 is 550 CD per paper, and level 3 is 650 CD. But for those doing the modular, you are getting a slash of 20% off the tuition fee. So please, that is the package we have for our modular class or our receipt test. Is to ensure that, yes, we keep you around, making sure that you are able to revise adequately to prepare you for the exams we have ahead. So that is our package for the diet. Lectures commence immediately tomorrow, and all the lectures all through this week will be mainly introductory lectures. Immediately we are done, we are back into full business. And most of these introductory lectures are so important. Some of us do not pay attention to them, but it set the tone for the session or the meeting. Because if you don't join those revision or introductory lectures that we shall be having this week, exactly, you may not know how some of the issues will be discussed, because it is in these introductory mission or meetings that we normally plan the work for the diet. Are we together? So that you can understand and follow through what the lecture will be teaching all through the week. Okay, so please take note of that as we progress into the diet. So if there's any question, let me know, or if there's any question, let me know.
Yeah, we are having a few questions, but your bandwidth is a bit low, so I turned off your video,
Okay.
just so you know.
Okay.
We have a few questions from Gmail, from YouTube, sorry.
Okay, but is it possible that you could share that screen with me or something? Okay, another option, I could also join. Okay, but you start sharing.
Yeah, you can just join from.
Yeah, so you start sharing them.
Okay, so he says, sir, please, those of who joined the modular class have access to the current diet class or videos.
Okay, you see the interesting thing will be that because we will be having a lecture for you specifically, we will not advise you to go for the videos of the current diet. That may not be really useful to you, exactly, because tuition for December, exactly, is the same tuition that we'll be having for March. The only thing is that if there are some changes in the questions we'll be using, those questions will be obviously be discussed in the modular class. So we'll put our program together in such a way that you joining the revision will not miss some of the key things that will be happening in the normal tuition. So please just don't bother yourself, just join the modular, because now the modular will be every week, exactly. So there will be no need to now join the normal class as well as the modular. It will be a stress to you. So I rather recommend that you join only the modular if assuming you are a receiver, and the way we have packaged it is such that exactly there will be no main difference between the modular and the normal tuition. So thank you, Mike, for that question. Mike, any other question?
Good evening, sir. Early in the Noble team, we do appreciate the effort to organize this and run us through your class, and run us through how your class is going to be like.
Okay, so I think we've discussed that. As we said, we have tuition as well as the modular. So yes, tuition is for those who are registering for the first time on our tuition program, exactly, which obviously will mean that they have not gotten used to how our tuition program is done in terms of lecture. So we are doing that separately from the receipt test. So anybody receipting could join the modular, which is well targeted and will be mainly practice questions, exactly. Technical questions will be solved, exam approach will be discussed so that we can be better prepared going into the exam. Yeah, so that is it. So
must
I think
you be a previous student to qualify for a particular modular session?
Yes, you must be. You see, I will not recommend modular for somebody joining us for the first time. I will always Exactly, because yes, some people will complain. Sometimes, you see, let me make this point so clear. Sometimes you are having a lecture and students are complaining that, sir, you are too fast, sir, you are talking too fast, sir, you are running. It's all because some people have not been able to grasp the fundamental issues. So sometimes when you are teaching at the level of your delivery, some people lag behind and they really struggle to follow the session. So that's why I always advise that if this time around, when we are doing the tuition, exactly, I will take my time so basically to ensure that those who are part of the tuition do not complain of speed or any challenge, exactly. But for those doing the modular, it's time to revise, exactly. So at least there should be some basic fundamental knowledge of the issues so that we build up upon it, exactly. So that is why we want to separate the two, so that people who are joining tuition will not be complaining that it's like as if the delivery is such that the lecturer is assuming we all know the thing. That is some of the complaints we've been having. So we want to separate the two so that those who are resitting are separate and those who are normal people who have not yet gone through the tuition program will join the tuition program so that we don't have that challenge in meeting the expectation of the two parties. So I think that is the reason for this particular approach. Yeah. Mike, any other question?
Please, I would like to know if the modular package has been activated in the app.
Yes, we haven't activated.
Yes, it's been activated.
Yeah, so I think Mike has done that almost immediately now. So yes, so I'm sure after this meeting, you can go ahead and register for the modular program. And as I've said, it's 20% discount off the tuition fee. So that it's a way of giving back to our students who are re-sitting again for the diet. So yes, 20% discount on our re-sitters program, specifically the modular program. So please take note of that, right? Mike, we can go on.
Please, I just realized that the fees have been increased. Must I have to pay all before I can join the class? Sitting for level 3 papers.
Okay, so there's a particular arrangement we have specifically. Sometime in the past, some people, we struggle to manage liabilities in terms of our standings. So now what we are doing is that if somebody is registering, for example, for 4 papers, exactly, and does not have the full fees, what we encourage them to do is that, exactly, register for the number of papers you have the money for. So for example, if you're registering for 4 papers and you have the money to pay for 3, you can register in the app and pay for the 3 papers. So that the extra 4th one, exactly, you request from me specifically for an approval to have a temporary access to the 4th paper you intend to register for. So we will give you a temporary access and will require you to complete the form to indicate when you will be completing payment. And the deadline for payment of all our standings is 1st week in February. Are we together? So yes, we have that opportunity. So you register and pay for the 3 and then register and you'll be given the additional paper, that's the 4th paper, on a temporary access basis. So you indicate in the form when you expect to finish paying that money. And if that date comes and you don't pay that money, you'll be denied access automatically without any further grace period. So that is it. So if a student is registering for 3 subjects and cannot be able to pay for all the 3, go to the app and pay for the 2. Exactly. The 3rd one, which you don't have the money for, exactly, you can officially request for a temporary access to be given to you for that 3rd paper. And then when you are able to make payment, exactly, or you give us a date on which you'll be able to make the payment. On that date, we expect the payment to be made. If it's not made, we will deny you access almost immediately because we don't want to now engage ourselves in recovery of debt. It's so boring and I can tell you so frustrating. Exactly. We don't have time to be managing liabilities. If we give you this gesture and you think you can take advantage of the system, we are training people who are of integrity. So if you complete the form and indicate the date of payment, we don't expect us to now call you to remind you. It is unfair on your part. So obviously, when the date is due, we will turn off the app or access to all your platforms almost immediately to the particular paper you have requested for the temporary access. Are we clear? And for those who intend to have this arrangement is not applicable to 1 paper. So if you are registering for 1 paper, you must be able to make your payment. If you are registering for 2 papers also, yes, we are allowing for that, but I may use my discretion, especially for only those who have already registered in the past, who have some credibility. But the standard is for those who are doing 3 papers, who want to have some temporary arrangement. We could allow you to register for 2, and you can defer payment for the 3rd one. Are we clear? So yes, it's based on approval. So take note of that, right? So Mike, we can have your question again.
I seek to register for e-learning. I hope there is the possibility of getting videos so I learn on my own pace in case I miss the live
Oh
Zoom
yes,
classes.
it's one of the key things that we always encourage our students to do. Because you see, if you register on our mobile app now, exactly, you have access to the tuition of the whole of last sitting, from the first lecture to the last lecture. So if you are a serious-minded person, exactly, by now you should be able to download those videos and start preparing ahead of the class. And that is what gives most of our students a greater advantage, because we don't need to reinvent the wheel. Exactly. This lecture we have been doing it almost for the last 4 to 5 years. And we have videos of these current lectures for 2019 to date. So why do you have to reinvent the wheel? All these videos are available. So if you register in the app now, exactly, at least you can have the video of the most immediate date, which is the December date, of lectures from day 1 to the last, both weekend and weekday. And those lectures can be downloaded and streamed, so that at the end of the day, you have adequate preparation before joining a particular class. And those who have been able to do this, I can tell you, their outcomes are so great. So take advantage of that and register in the app, have the video, and begin your immediate preparation. No need to wait for anybody. Are we clear? Automatic access once you do the payment, and automatic revision once you have access to the video. So please take note of that. Right. So Mike, your question?
I want to know if we are going to have 4 dates in a year now.
No, it's going to be 3 dates. There's no change yet per information available to me. We are still maintaining the 3 dates. The only change that is to be communicated by the institute is the change in the month of exam. Exactly. And the institute to issue a communique very soon to confirm all these discussions we are having. Exactly. So take note of that. But it's obvious that our exams for the first part of the year will be happening in March. The date of the exam is yet to be communicated. The communique of the institute to confirm that, exactly. But we must be proactive and start preparation before such a communique is released, so that we don't lag behind and we don't blame ourselves for inadequate preparation. So please take note of that, right? So I think the next question is, somebody says, I joined a few minutes. Is there any information on level 1 or first time? So for level 1, the good news is that we always have a scholarship for our level 1 students. So level 1s are going to get 50% exactly discount on their registration. So it's very important you take note of that. So for level 1, last year we had a full scholarship program, but this time around we are actually giving you 50% off your tuition program. A paper for level 1 is 450 CD. So by that 50% scholarship, it means that your fee is 225 Ghana CD. So for level 1, that is the great news we have for you. And even for level 1, we have the videos already recorded for the last day. So if you register now, you have automatic access to all these videos. So take note of that. Exactly. So somebody is asking, would the regular student have access to questions of the modular class? Please, for now, we will not allow for that arrangement. Tuition is tuition, modular is modular. So please take note of that, okay? Now, sir, please, which week in March is the exam? As I said, we have not yet confirmed that. The institute has the sole responsibility to announce that, and you will be giving that information in due course. Then another question, I'm sitting for a paper for the first time, which means I did the normal class, but I've watched most of the videos of the previous day. Is it possible for me to join the modular for revision? Why not? If you have been able to go through the videos of the previous day and you think you want to now join the modular, why not? You can do that. You can do that. Please, would the modular be given a credit arrangement too? That will not be easy to manage, because for modular, your program or your fee is heavily discounted, 20% off. So for modular, we may not allow any deferment of payment. So please take note of that. Take note of that. Is there any questions again? I think I've
Yeah,
done most of them.
Sally, please, which week will you start the March diet? Okay, let me ignore that. What's the guarantee that the syllabus would be completed before the exam?
Oh, we can guarantee that, yes, the syllabus will be completed. Exactly. The only change is that I think we have only have about 2 weeks or 2 or 3 weeks, which has been taken off the normal tuition period. Now, in the past, the lecture tuition or the tuition we normally have is to repeat the weekend or the weekday lecture on the weekend. So we've been going with this repetitive approach where what has been taught on the weekday is repeated on the weekend. And that approach is to help us to be able to, or all our students to be able to go through the syllabus weekly, so that there's so much time for grasp. But as we have said, due to the short nature of the period, we would rather prefer exactly that when it gets into the month of February, we will stop the repetition approach and rather ensure that whatever tuition is done on the weekday will be a continuation for the weekend, weekly, so that we can be able to convert the lecture period in February from 4 to 8 if we are able to continue without repeating what was done on the weekday on the weekend. So automatically it means that we have 8 meetings in the month of February. And when we add those meetings to the meetings in January, it clearly means that we have been able to achieve our 12 weeks of lectures, which obviously is standard for us to finish the syllabus. So we need 12 weeks of meeting. So if you're able to do 8 meetings in February, 4 meetings in January, 12 meetings, we should be able to finish the syllabus. We've done this in all previous sessions, and it's not very difficult for us to achieve going into this particular diet also. So Mike, any other question?
Please, will I be given a discount if I register for all level 3 papers?
Yes, our discount package for all levels actually is that when you are registering for 3 papers or more, you are automatically getting 10% discount. Are we clear? So any student who registers for 3 papers or more, you are getting a 10% discount on the total fee payable. So take note of that. Exactly. So
it's 5 for 3. It's 5 for 3 and 10 for more than 3.
Okay, I think Mike, we need to reconcile that. It's supposed to be 10% for 3 or more. Okay, it's on the flyer. That is what is there. It's 10% for 3 or more. So we quickly need to work on that. So it doesn't matter whether you are doing 3, whether you are doing 4, whether you are doing 5. The discount starts from 3 papers and more. So 10% all through. Okay, so kindly, if assuming we have not reflected that in the system, let's just adjust it. Okay, right. Thank you so much.
Please, I'm resetting PSA and FR. I have paid already. Must I pay for the modular again?
No, you don't need to pay for the modular again. If you are resitting,
no, I think this person has paid for the normal class.
Yes,
so if the person wants to take modular, then he has to change.
Yeah, so that would mean you switching from normal tuition to modular, and that obviously is acceptable. We don't have a problem with that. Okay, we don't have a problem you switching from modular to the tuition. It's not a problem at all. So we can move on. Any other question? Somebody's asking, please.
Sir, will we have access to the previous lectures based on the modular program?
Yes. So let me repeat the package for modular again, which is very important for all to remember. For modular program, you are getting the previous diet lecture videos for free. Very important. The previous lecture diet video for free. Now, in addition to that, exactly for level 3, who have already had modular sessions in the past, you'll be getting the videos for the modular sessions in the past. In addition to that, also, you'll be getting the video for the intervention which was done for the December 2022 exam. You'll be getting that also. So when it comes to the videos and the audios, you are getting 3 different videos, assuming you register for the modular. And as we have seen also, this time around, the modular session will have lectures every week, which is a departure from the past. And we indicated that for those who are doing man accounting, your modular session is Friday, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. and it is strictly on Zoom. For those doing financial reporting, yours is every Sunday night, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. For those doing public sector, yours is every Saturday from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. So that is the target. These 3 papers for level 2, that is what will happen. Exactly. And then for level 3, corporate reporting modular every Friday evening from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. For advanced auditing modular every Saturday, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Exactly. For case study modular every Sunday evening from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. So it's a clear departure from what we used to do in the past. Exactly. And all these, you are going to have a good amount of resources in terms of video to back your revision. Are we clear? So that is it. So I think I'm cool with the introduction or the reintroduction of this package. And as I said, your fee has been discounted by 20% of the usual fee for tuition. That is the advantage you have. So that is it. Yes. So we can move on.
Will you recommend Modular for students who have tuition elsewhere last night?
Normally, I don't recommend that. But I will only recommend that if you can have evidence that in your tuition from the other provider, your score was in 40s. So if you are a receiver and you didn't participate in our tuition program and your pass mark in the previous that was in the 40s, then I can allow you to do the modular. But if you are not in the 40s, exactly, I will respectfully and humbly request you to join the tuition so that you can get your knowledge level to the right level before you get to do the final exam. Are we clear? Because most of the time you need to pay attention to some of these things. If you are not in the 40s, it's a clear indication of inadequate knowledge. If you are in the 40s, yes, it's a clear indication of a need for what they call it continuous revision to be able to get you to cross the 50. So if you are a student who has a score of 30 in any exam, it's a clear indication that your knowledge is not adequate and you must get back to the drawing board and learn and learn and learn. If you are a student who have a score in 40, it's a clear indication that your revision is inadequate. You have not solved enough questions to comprehend the complexity of issues going into the exam. So if you have your pass mark, it's a key determination of what challenge you have. If you are in the 30s, it's knowledge inadequacy. If you are in the 40s, you have not rehearsed enough questions, exactly, to help you appreciate the complexity of issues to ready you for the exam. So please make the best decision. If you have never joined our tuition before and you are in the 30s, I'll recommend you join tuition. But if you are in the 40s from another tuition provider, yes, you can join the modular, and I'm sure you'll be able to catch up. Yeah. Mike, any other?
Yes. Will the modular students be given credit? I think you spoke about that already. You also spoke about the week. I think some of the questions are coming in because people are now joining.
Okay.
Okay, I think okay, so some people are still asking questions which you've talked about already.
Okay.
So someone is asking, which app should I install? Okay, the app is Aspire Executive Institute.
Yeah, so the app is Aspire Executive Institute. You can use that as the app for.
See, another person is asking the same question you just answered. So sometimes
somebody's asking, I can see a question. When is the modular starting? The modular is starting specifically next week, Friday. So which is from the 13th of January. So modular session begins from next week, Friday, 13th of January. So everybody should take note of that. Modular will begin 13th of January. So make sure registrations are done before then so that you can be allowed onto the platforms to join the lecture. As I said, now modular is every week. Exactly. So please take note of that. Okay.
So I did my tuition with you, but I did not write the exam. Should I do modular or full tuition?
So if you have done the tuition in the last diet and you didn't write the exam, and then you now want to join the tuition all over again, it means that, yes, you have at least done the tuition before. So I think modular will be preferable so that you can use the previous diet videos for revision, and then you join the normal modular again to get some adequate preparation. Yeah. So take note of that. Okay.
Can I attend both the online and face-to-face class, or I'm allowed to just join one?
Okay, for tuition, for normal tuition, as we have already discussed earlier, for normal tuition, lectures will usually be both face-to-face and online. So as the lecture is happening live in class, are we together? You are going to join it on Zoom, and you can switch between any of the two at no extra cost. So for example, tomorrow evening, we have advanced auditing lecture as well as financial management lecture happening tomorrow night. Students can come in person to the hockey stadium and join us live, or the same students who maybe due to certain circumstances they cannot join us in person, they can join on Zoom. Exactly. And as I'm teaching live in class, you are able to join on Zoom directly. Are we clear? So that is what is going to happen. But for the modular, every lecture is not in person, it's strictly online. So that is the way forward. For modular, there will be no in-person lecture. All the lectures will be happening via Zoom. So please take note of that. Okay? Right. So Mike, I think we are fine now. So somebody say for SCS.
When is the normal tuition starting?
Normal tuition start tomorrow. Tomorrow evening from exactly 5:30. We should start tuition tomorrow. Exactly. Boachi, do you have a question? Boachi kept raising his hands. Boachi, are you fine?
Yes,
Okay.
I have a question for level 1 students. I think somebody was asking me if the deferment also the level 1s will be given advantage on that.
For level 1,
level 1 students already have a 50% discount.
They have a 50%
so they wanted to know if they can get it.
I'm wondering where the deferment is coming from again after giving the 50% discount. Okay, but we can allow deferment if assuming the student is doing 3 papers. We will not allow for 2 papers. Okay. Because the fee is heavily discounted. So yes, if the person is doing 3 or more, we can allow for deferment. Okay. So for level 1, I think that's the decision. So actually you can communicate to them, okay? And we'll put it on their platform also. Yeah, it shouldn't be a problem. Right. So any more questions?
Sir, please, I have paid for regular classes. Is it possible to change it to modular? And will I get a refund?
We don't have a problem doing that for you. It shouldn't be a problem. But be careful. One challenge I suspect is that people may be making changes to modular based on the fee or the pricing. Don't paralyze yourself. Exactly. As I've already warned, modular is for reciters. Don't join modular and start complaining that the lecture is moving fast. The thing is being taught at a superficial level. That's the English some of them have been speaking. So I beg you, know your level before you join what you are joining. Tuition is normal lectures happening at a pace which is bearing in mind that these people are learning the thing for the first time. Exactly. For modular, the assumption is that you already know. You already know. So don't come to modular and create confusion there. So know yourself before choosing what you are choosing. Don't choose based on the amount involved and then injure yourself. So I'll put that particular warning across so that people don't choose just because.
So it's my brethren. So it's so it's my brethren. Know thyself.
Know thyself. Know thyself. Because I normally get those complaints a lot. Okay, somebody say, "Oh, sir, you are moving too fast." It is because of the capacity gap. So let's move now. So any other question?
There's a question. Are you saying that if I register for weekday tuition, I will have to be attending the weekend lectures from February 2023 in order to catch up completing the syllabus?
Very good. So what we are saying is that I'll repeat it again and again. January, what is taught on a weekday will be repeated on a weekend. But immediately we enter February, everybody should plan for it. What will be taught on the weekday, listen carefully, will not be repeated on the weekend. So it will be a continuation of what will be taught on the weekday. So what it means is that if you are a weekend student, exactly, you must make sure that whatever was taught on the weekday, exactly, you make an attempt to watch the video before the weekend lecture commences. So it means that everybody will have to find a way to check up or have a backup. Either you join the lecture live or you use the video as a backup measure. Are we getting to the point? Because at the end of the day, maybe your preference is weekend. That's not a problem. But just make sure that in February, when the weekday lecture is happening, exactly, you either join live, or if you cannot join live, make time to watch the video before the lecture continues on the weekend. And that is why we are putting in place measures to make sure that the video will be uploaded in less than 24 hours after the class, so that no matter what happens, you can watch it before the weekend lecture continues. Are we clear? So those who may also not be able to join the weekend also, when we are done with the weekend also, we'll ensure the videos are made available so quickly for you so that you can also watch it before we continue on the weekday session. So yes, that is the way forward. Either you join or you get the video to catch up before the next session, so that we can be able to convert the lecture period in February from 4 to 8 if we go by this strategy. So take note of that. Right.
Okay, so there is a question here I wanted to skip, but let me throw it to you.
Okay.
It says that can you explain any explanation for last sitting's pass rate in strategy case study?
Any explanation for last sitting's pass rate in strategy case study?
We know you are not the chief examiner, but we are throwing it to you.
Continuous. So I think we have to mute someone of our colleagues. Okay. Let me say that some of our students in writing the exam had some element of surprise. That's what I'll say, because I will make it clear that all the issues that came in that particular exam was not a major departure from what has been taught in class. For example, we had for case study, for example, we had a Porter's diamond taught in class. I don't think there was a problem with that. We did it in class, we did it in intervention. The same issue was there in the exam. Even during the intervention, we drew the various organizational structure. We drew the directional, so should I call it, I think, divisional, as well as the matrix. Those two were the various organizational structure we drew. In the exam, you were required to draw or recommend an appropriate organizational structure based on the information given. So what the examiner gave was that, yes, the company wanted to have a new organizational structure based on the geography of their various operations. Are we clear? So that was not a problem at all. And you must recommend the advantages of the structure you have drawn. Then the third question, which was a bit familiar, was the question to do with the agency conflict, which is normal. We've done that in class, I even repeated it in intervention, that, you see, there has not been any single question on agency theory yet. I've stated that several, even in class and even in intervention. So that was a very easy question. Exactly. And all these things I've mentioned is already 30 marks, which ordinarily are, I would say, are low-lying fruits. Very easy issues that students could be able to overcome in the exam. Let me give you another one. There was another question also on product portfolio analysis, which specifically was the Shell directional model. The examiner was so benevolent to give you information on all the product and the specific classification in terms of the profitability of the product, exactly, and also its what they call it, its comparative industry performance. So your job is to plot your matrix specifically on and put the product into the matrix, because he gave you what is average, what is medium already. So he gave you information. So to draw that matrix was not a problem. And you should all be aware that when it comes to the Shell directional, it's not different from the BCG. It's only that there has been a breakdown of the BCG into two categories. So for example, if you go to the BCG, you have what we call cash cow. If you go to Shell directional, they broke it down into custodian and cash generator. So these were basic issues. So I don't think that was even a problem. Are we together? When it came to risk, the major question was how to embed risk into the culture of the organization. We've done that in class. It's one of the key issues in risk I've kept repeating severally when it comes to risk management, how to embed risk in the culture of your organization. That was also not a difficult issue. One other issue, which was a major issue, was disclosure. Exactly. When it comes to disclosure, a company which is listed according to the code of best practice, what are some of the relevant information to disclose? Also 10 marks question. This was not difficult, but as I said, overall, it was not a difficult paper. It was the outcome which was surprising. Some will say that, yes, some of the issues were not much pertaining to the prison. But as I keep saying, exactly, in the prison, it was obvious. Yes, Porter's diamond was obvious. In the prison, organizational structure was obvious. In the prison, agency issues was obvious because you already saw there will be conflict because the CEO or the CEO has now decided to become a chairman. So these were not issues that were not in the prison, I must say. Some people are making that statement that these issues are not in the prison. I must tell you emphatically that yes, those issues were obviously in the prison. So 3 of those issues were obvious, which we have discussed. Out of that, there were other issues, which ordinarily, if you were learning your notes very seriously, you should get them. Embedding risk as part of the culture of the organization shouldn't be a problem. Exactly. Issues of disclosure, the key issues that you must disclose when the company becomes listed in terms of the code of best practice. These are not things which show, in all essence, the most difficult issue is the issue of you being able to calculate the hedging, which obviously is something that students may not have comprehended, especially those who did not do financial management. So overall, the paper was not a paper that an average student may not pass, but the outcome was very, very surprising, in which I always say that we need to come back to the drawing board and be able to learn all these things again and again and again, because the outcome was surprising to myself as a lecturer, exactly, as an examiner. The outcome was so much something that I must say was a surprise to everybody. But we cannot say that we were not prepared. Preparation was adequate. Maybe it was the element of surprise, which threw some of us away. But whatever it is, I don't think our preparations exactly were not inadequate. We did our utmost best to prepare students for this exam. And I don't think the outcome was what we expected. Maybe something strange happened in the exam, I must say. Okay, something strange happened, because I remember after the exam, so many students were complaining. Then one of my students, I don't want to call her name, sent me a private message to say that, said, was the paper difficult? Mike, did you hear that? So a student sent me a message to say, was the paper difficult? So you see, it's all about your preparation. It's all about your preparation. So we can overlook that. So Mike, any other question? Let's go on. Hello? Is Mike there? Okay, if Mike is not there, let me take some of the questions. Somebody say, please, I want to register for 2 papers, but I don't have money for one now. As I said, we have arrangement for those who intend to pay or make part payment. The approach is that rather register for the paper for which you have the money for. Pay for it, exactly. When you are down, now apply for temporary access to the additional paper for which you don't have the money for, so that we can approve it and give you access, and you'll be asked to complete a form to indicate when you make the payment. And when that day comes and you are not able to do the payment, we will deactivate your access to the platform. And we are not expected to pay beyond first week in February. So all payment or all outstanding obligations must be retired on or before the end of the first week in February. So please take note of that. Okay. Then somebody said, please, I've registered already and paid for 3 papers, but was given a 5% discount instead of 3%, which we have already said. I think we'll do a revision to that. So whatever it is, we could give you a refund. As I've said, our discount for normal tuition exactly is 10% for 3 or more papers, which I'm sure our technical team will resolve that for me almost immediately. And I'll encourage everybody that when you want to register for the lecture, always go back and update the app so that you can get the current issues updated in the app before you commence to register. So make sure you update the app before you start the registration, right? Is there any question? Mike, are you back now?
Yes, my internet is disappointing me, but we
Okay.
are inside.
Don't worry. So somebody saying when is
Please, as a reciter, can I only join intervention class?
that's your what do you call it, your bowl of meat. So yes, somebody may decide that I will not join tuition but rather join only intervention. We don't have a problem with that, exactly, but just be sure that your own preparations are adequate before the final intervention. I always have that challenge with a lot of students. Some of them will wait, sit on the fence, and rather want to come for final intervention. And when they come and you are discussing some issues, they seem to be surprised. All because self-learning has not helped them. And most of the time, all these are about self-discipline. Sometimes if you register for tuition, it keeps you reminded that you have a big task ahead. Because without tuition, you just consider yourself as always ready for any exam. And sometimes the self-discipline is a major challenge. So I will not encourage anybody. The time is so short for you to now be deciding to do something on your own and wanting to just sit back and come for intervention. I will recommend Modular for you, exactly, to keep you adequately prepared in terms of solving questions and preparing yourself with exam techniques before any eventual intervention. So that is it. I think I'll be ending in the next 10 minutes, if not so. Is there any other question? Somebody say, when is advanced auditing starting? Advanced auditing is starting tomorrow, 5:30 p.m. Exactly, for weekday students. It will be live in person at the hockey stadium, Tudosia Oko Hockey Stadium near Tema Station, and the same lecture will also be live on Zoom. So once you register, you'll be given automatic access to that lecture, okay? So somebody say, let's.
Okay, so there is a question that I want you to pick up.
Okay.
It says, I need you to address this for me. It says, please, will you advise students to join 2 different tuitions at the same time?
Okay, that's one of the problems I've always had with a lot of our students. Some people over the period join 2 different tuition centers at the same time. I don't have a problem. Some of you are financially resourced, but sometimes you confuse yourself. Some people ask questions in class, which automatically shows that their minds have been corrupted from somewhere. Exactly, of some basic issues which ordinarily they should be able to comprehend. And it becomes so worrying. So I will advise you, exactly, if you have to stick to one, the time is so short. I don't know what type of memory you have, to the extent that you go for one lecture here, you go for another here. Some even do 3 lectures from 3 different tuition providers. I don't know whether that has worked for you, somebody who has shared a testimony with you, but consistency is the trick for ICA exam. Being consistent with a tuition provider is always the secret for most people who pass. Somebody will fill the paper and move to another tuition provider. And the excuse is that I'm feeling shy to come back and come and resit. What are you shy about? We have all failed before. I wrote public sector 3 times. So where lies your problem? I don't get it. And even if you are shy, you don't want to come into the class, then you join online so that you don't feel shy that you are resitting the paper. In professional exam, there's no shyness. We have all failed before. Are we getting the point? Everybody has failed the paper before. It's not unusual to fail. It's part of the process to discipline you and keep you in check. So if there's anybody who has written professional exam and has not failed before, know that they have some psychological problem. So, get me the next question.
Okay, so someone says, I have been writing CR and strategic case study for over 3 sittings with your school. Do you advise modular or normal tuition?
I will advise modular, but I would rather wish you have some time also. Let me make this clear to some of our colleagues. Exactly. Take time, and come for counseling. Exactly. Take time off. Most of you should know my schedule by now. From Monday to Thursday, I'm always at the hockey stadium at 3 p.m. Even though lecture will start at 5:30, I'm always at the hockey stadium from 3 p.m., relaxing and preparing myself for the lecture. So if you want to take some advantage of me for counseling, I always advise you can come to the hockey stadium. Come and let's have a discussion. For those of you who have been writing and filling this paper, sometimes it could be something that you're not doing right. And maybe with a good conversation with myself, some of these things could be overcome. I don't know why some of you even feel shy to even approach me. It's not fair. I don't know what the problem is, but I can advise you, try and come for counseling. If you are writing this paper and over and over and you're not getting it, let's sit down. Let's see what we can discuss. Maybe we need to have a conversation on some of the key areas that you may have challenges, and let me see what I can recommend for you. Exactly. Always try and overcome the barrier, and some personal touch can actually help you. And I recommend that to a lot of our students, and they've taken advantage of it, and it has really, really helped them. Exactly. So make time. Let us have a conversation. I'm always available, as I said, on the weekdays from 3 p.m. to 5 for counseling. Exactly. You can come in person, or you can even call me within that time, and I will obviously respond to you. If you call and I don't respond, always send me a gentle reminder on WhatsApp, and I'll surely get back to you when appropriate. Okay. So, Mike, I think that is fine. We should be getting ready to shut down.
When are we starting with lectures for March diet?
We are starting tomorrow. So we are starting tomorrow. So tomorrow, 5:30 p.m. weekday lectures commence. So please take note of that. Okay. So somebody say, please.
So someone is suggesting that the merger should start from January, not.
Yeah, the reason why we are not merging from January is that sometimes a lot of people exactly join from January. So if you merge immediately in January, it can be really confusing. Exactly. That's why the merger will happen in February, so that by the time we get to February, we've got everybody on the same page so that we can progress comfortably. Are we there? So that is the reason why the merger of the two sessions will begin from February. Okay.
So those in other parts of the country, who attend online, how do they benefit from your counseling sessions?
Oh, that's why I'm saying that you can do it via a phone call. Make time. Sometime you can arrange it. You can arrange for it. You can call me, and then you say you want to have a conversation with me. I will normally give you an appointment, and when you call within that time, we can have a conversation. Exactly. Yesterday, I was speaking to a lady for almost 40 minutes. It's not normal. Exactly. She was so down, and I don't know, she wanted to even give up on this professionalism. But with about 40 minutes of conversation, at least we found a way around what she should do going into the current exam. There are situations where students are even some arrangements to make sure that they have personal kind of what do you call it, a TA to deal with some specific topics that they have challenges with. Last sitting, I actually arranged, there was one of our ladies who had a challenge with corporate consolidation. I actually had to make sure that one of our TAs specifically dedicates some time to deal with some of those topics for her, and at least she's been better in that regard. So please just come over. Sometimes counseling help. Don't be there on your own. Just a conversation can bail you out. So take note of that. Just a 30-minute conversation from 10 minutes. Make time. Exactly. Take your professional qualifications serious. Exactly. We have done this severally. We have been teaching for the past 5 years. And just with that experience, we can share with you some vital information that could change your understanding of issues to help you come out successfully. So basically, I think, Mike, we should be closing by now.
So, Ali, some feedback for you. Someone says you speak nicely and sweet, but your posture is unapproachable.
Sometimes you see, don't make it seem as if my posture is not acceptable. When it is time to teach, it's serious business. Are you getting the point? So if I'm teaching and you look at the way I'm teaching and use it to judge me, it will be a different matter. I cannot be teaching and be smiling like a joker. Are you getting the point? The way I have to approach the team, I have to use some seriousness to drive the point into your head. Are we getting the point? So when I'm teaching, it's a different matter. Sometimes also when I finish teaching, sometimes my face is very straight. It's not a good time to have some of those conversations. That is why I'm telling you that the best time is before a class. Exactly. So that at the end of the day, yes, 3 to 5, you can have that particular conversation. Okay. But not when we are teaching a serious business happening. Like, for example, Saturday.
The teaching itself is a serious business.
It's a serious matter. So, for example, Saturday, when we have a lecture from 7:30, because Saturday, our lecture is from 7:30 to 4. It's not a good time to approach me to discuss some issues like that. No. That is heavy duty thinking. Exactly. We are teaching financial reporting, corporate reporting, advanced auditing from 7:30 to 4. It's no joke. So on that day, if you're asking me a question, exactly, you may not get the best of me because there's a lot to comprehend and discuss within the hour. So I would rather recommend that if you need counseling, do it in the course of the week. From Monday, as I'm giving it to you, Monday to what? Thursday. Exactly. From 3 p.m. to 5. 2 hours. I'm always available. So make time, arrange for it, and we can have a conversation. So John, don't
Can you
talk
make
like
your
that.
number available?
Oh, my number is very popular.
You know, John.
John, which John is that?
I'm Menuke John.
which of the John is that? I'm sure he's just trying to play mischief. Because I'm sure most people should say I'm a very approachable person. If you are telling me I'm not approachable, then I'm sure you allow it. I'm sure the person is trying to play mischief. It's like I say, sir, you speak nicely and sweet, but your posture is unapproachable. How come? Oh, it's well. Any question? So let's take off. I think we should be closing by now. I disagree with you, Ellie. Some who are taking CA full time, especially after SHS, have gone through without failing. So, okay, I don't have a problem with that. Exactly. As I've said, I don't think that CA should be written exactly, and then you
But
pass.
will you compare apples with pineapples just because they are apple? They all have apple.
That's what I'm saying. That there are most
so
people.
This is an SS person sitting at home and writing full time.
Who is writing?
You are
the
working,
paper?
married, having kids, and you are comparing yourself to them. I think you are putting yourself in a situation that will give you wahala.
You understand? So there are different people. Some people have written all papers from beginning to the end without failing. Yes, those are people who are very young, some are SHS level. But for us who are getting older and older all the time, please, we need to check it. Sometimes you may fail a paper, but that does not mean it's the end of the world. Okay. So let me quickly deal with one last issue. You see the number, right? So my number is 0555. That's 555. 0555 555. And then 213-559. So 0555 213-559. So that's my number. You can reach me.
And the secretary's number?
And the secretary's number, let me see, get that quickly. I don't have it offered, but let me mention it. It's 0547 193 614. 0547 193 614. So that's the secretary's number. You can also reach her if there's any challenges you may want to help you want him or her to help you address it. Okay, so that is it. So I think
is there modular for advanced tax?
Yeah, there's modular for advanced tax. As I said, it will also follow the same trail. I'm yet to confirm the time. So we are looking at Friday or Sunday evening. So whatever it is, we'll surely confirm that. So tomorrow, the modular flyer will be released because we are yet to release the flyer. So tomorrow, the modular flyer will be released on our various platforms for you to take note of that, okay? And tuition is already in progress. Registration has started. So please, you can take advantage of that. So thank you all for joining this meeting. We're supposed to close at 7. We have added an extra 15 minutes. And then I think we are so grateful for joining us. Thank you all and wish you all the best. Mike, we can shut down.
Thank you.
Right.